It's a simple question with a diabolically difficult answer. Is Tegan Lane dead or alive? She was last seen as a 2-day-old leaving a Sydney hospital with her mother Keli, an aspiring Australian Olympian. That was 20 years ago. What happened to baby Tegan after that has never been explained. Instead, there have been any number of theories, mostly to do with the bizarre behaviour of her mother. In 2010, Keli Lane was found guilty of murdering Tegan, even though her body has never been found. Now, in a last desperate bid to prove she is not a baby killer, Keli's parents, Sandra and Robert, break their silence.
Yep. Great shots.
Yeah. Brings back a lot of memories.
How are you feeling about the sentence, Mrs. Lane? How's Keli?
And that's one when we're a very, very happy family.
Please don't nudge me like that.
Robert and Sandra Lane's dream is to be enjoying a comfortable retirement on Sydney's northern beaches, surrounded by family. But that will never happen while their only daughter Keli, a former champion water polo player, languishes in prison.
She was girl of the carnival.
In January 2004, Sandra and Robert's world was torn apart when they first learned Keli had been leading a double life.
But I'm still not sure why you have to discuss. You asked me here to talk about Tegan. I'm confused now.
I want to get to the truth.
How did you react to that news?
We were shocked.
Stunned would be a really good word.
Australians watched in disbelief as the Keli Lane story unfolded. A popular elite water polo player secretly gives birth to 3 children. She adopts 2 of them out, but one, Tegan, simply vanishes. How can a child disappear without anyone knowing? And how did Keli Lane hide 3 pregnancies? Tonight, Keli's parents, Sandra and Robert, are breaking their silence. It's difficult for them. They hate the spotlight. But they're here because they believe there's been a miscarriage of justice. And Keli should be free.
The general perception out there is your daughter's a convicted child killer.
Well, of course it is. But it happened prior to her being convicted. She was being demonised in the media for
Years.
10 years. There was nothing nice said about her.
Keli Lane, who's now 40, is 5 years into an 18-year sentence for killing her baby, Tegan, back in 1996. But she says she didn't do it, and that there's a simple explanation. Tegan isn't dead. When she was 2 days old, Keli gave her away to the father, a man she'd had a brief affair with.
Do you believe Keli's story?
Yes, I do. It sounds improbable, but there are a lot of improbable things happen in life.
Robert, do you believe it?
Of course. The truth's stranger than fiction, isn't it? They always say.
To understand Keli, the convicted killer, it helps to understand Keli, the person.
That's back to when she was 7.
Water polo was Keli's passion. She loved the camaraderie of playing a team sport and was selected for various national squads.
This is the first time anyone's had a chance to hear about Keli. She's in jail, and so today you're her voice. Tell me about the Keli that you know.
Well, Keli was a wonderful daughter. She
Still is.
And still is a wonderful daughter. We love her dearly, even though we've been in a difficult position for many years.
What were your hopes for her?
I just wanted her to be happy, to really enjoy what she was doing and whatever goals she had in life to achieve them.
In the mid-1990s, Keli was making her name in the water polo world. On the cusp of success, she told nobody of her 3 pregnancies and the resulting children. Among teammates and friends, there were whispers about her fluctuating weight, even talk of a baby bump. But Keli kept training and competing, only taking a couple of days off for each birth.
This was your daughter living under your roof, and you didn't notice she was pregnant 3 times.
Some people indicated they had suspicions, but we didn't know, and if you don't know, you don't know. It's as simple as
My
that.
friends didn't know.
Yeah.
And at the time, fashion-wise, you didn't wear tight clothes. It was just all baggy gear. And seeing she spent most of her time in, like, tracksuits and whatever, going to and from training and all the rest of it. I mean, nobody knew. That can happen with people. I mean, they have cases where women get a stomach pain, they think, and they go and have a baby. So.
But in this instance, I guess it was 3 times.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I can't.
We can't say.
I can't give you any other answer. All I can say is that nobody knew. I mean, you don't go around with a great big sign on your head saying, "I've had a baby."
Do you wish you had noticed?
Oh, of course.
Of course, it would be.
We wouldn't be in this position now,
be able
obviously.
to help her.
Tegan Lane was born on the 12th of September 1996. But what's central to this mystery is what happened 2 days later when Keli and Tegan left hospital together. A few hours after being discharged, Keli was celebrating a friend's wedding on the other side of Sydney. But Tegan had vanished. She's never been seen since.
Do you think Keli murdered her baby?
No.
No.
Why are you so sure?
I don't think she'd hurt anybody, to be truthful, especially a child.
Keli had a wedding on the other side of Sydney that afternoon. You don't think it's possible that she panicked? Dumped the baby somewhere?
No. It was broad daylight for a start. You know, where is she going to dump a child in broad daylight in such a short time frame?
What's truly alarming is how close Keli came to keeping her secret forever. It wasn't until 1999, 3 years after Tegan was born, that a vigilant social worker discovered that she was missing. He alerted police, but it took 15 months before detectives asked Keli the question, "Where's Tegan?"
In your words, can you just explain to us the circumstances of when the child was born and what happened subsequent to that?
After a brief affair with the father of the child, I gave birth. We made an arrangement that he would come and take custody of Tegan as I was unable to take care of her myself.
Did you know the investigation was taking place?
No.
No, no idea.
No idea.
During her first interview with police, Keli told detectives Tegan's father was Andrew Morris.
The natural father of the child is an Andrew Morris, is that correct?
That's correct.
But in a second interview more than 2 years later, she told them it could be Andrew Norris. She wasn't sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Do you know the father of the child's name?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
Andrew Norris.
Norris?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think Keli understood the implications of those police interviews that she did with detectives?
No.
No.
No. If she did, she would have had a solicitor there and she wouldn't have any interviews.
Detectives grew even more suspicious when a nationwide search failed to find the father or baby Tegan.
Did you kill the child?
No, I did not. I did not do anything like that.
Someone else?
No. No.
Police were also secretly recording Keli's phone calls. In one, she tells a friend she's terrified of losing her young daughter, Keli's 4th child, who she kept.
I used to worry so much about wanting to be a sports star and being achieving these wonderful things, but the only thing I'm really good at is being a mum.
Keli also reveals her fear that Robert and Sandra would find out about her secret pregnancies.
Katie, when my parents find out, and it's going to circulate. It's going to blow wide open, and they're going to be so embarrassed and ashamed.
You don't know that that's going to happen.
Oh, it is. It is.
When did you find out? When did Keli tell you about Tegan?
Well, she didn't tell us. The police told us.
Why do you think Keli felt she couldn't confide in you?
I believe that she was trying to protect us, our standing in the community. She's trying to protect her standing in the community and possibly the father's. And for that reason alone.
You know,
you
it was something that she was very young.
19 to 21 this was happening. So what goes through young girls' minds, well, I don't know.
Hello?
Hi, Mum, it's me.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
All right.
That's good.
The phone taps also reveal how Sandra was questioning her daughter's story.
So was the child still alive up until 3 years ago?
Up until...
Well, you said they first contacted you 3 years ago.
Yeah, I'm under the assumption she still is now.
As more of this bizarre story became public, more of Keli's dark secrets and inconsistencies were laid bare. The investigation and Keli's eventual murder trial would drag on for more than a decade.
I find that the offence was premeditated, but only for a short time. It was committed in a situation of desperation, arising from a sense of entrapment and isolation.
How are you feeling about the sentence, Mrs. Lane?
It took its toll, and horrified at what was unfolding, Keli's parents closed ranks.
Why did you stay silent?
We're private people. How do you sort of manage to say, look, just would you please listen to anything we have to say? Because I just felt that, you know, they weren't interested in that anyway.
No.
So,
and it was probably further that they bullied us, intimidated us.
But there was a missing child. Can you understand why there was such intense scrutiny?
Of course.
Well, of course, but not for it to be so lengthy.
How much of your anger is directed at Keli for putting you in this situation?
None.
Well, none, because I've never thought of it.
No.
I've never thought of that.
We feel that, you know, we wish we weren't in this position, but it's happened. We can't change it, so all we can do is support her.
Coming up, did Keli kill Tegan?
If what you're saying is right, an innocent woman is in jail.
Yes.
A secret witness the jury never heard.
Andrew Norris Morris exists. She told me about him at that time. That's not a coincidence.
And Keli behind bars.
It's really hard to sit here and hear all these leads opening up and all these people coming forward.
So if you went back to a retrial, would you speak now?
That's next on 60 Minutes. It's been 5 years since Keli Lane was sent to prison for murdering her baby Tegan. But the case still intrigues Australia, mostly because Tegan's body has never been found. Keli's parents, Robert and Sandra, say that alone is cause to reopen the investigation. Another reason could be the witness you're about to meet, whose vital evidence the jury never heard.
I find that the offence was premeditated, but only for a short time. It was committed in a situation of desperation, arising from a sense of entrapment and isolation. In her mind, Keli had nowhere to turn.
The years have wearied Sandra and Robert Lane. Thrust into the spotlight, they've watched as their only daughter was jailed for murdering a child they believe is still alive.
It's nice to sit down and relax, isn't it?
I reckon.
You put a lot of it out of your mind because you're thinking about it all the time. So unless you walked in our shoes, you don't know what it's like.
I know it's been a long time, but it's very recent to me.
If I was 25 or 30, the bullets would bounce off, but as you get older, they don't bounce off as much. You know? No.
That's the other thing. Where did this policeman interview you?
Down at Manly.
At Manly Police Station?
Yeah.
Forensic criminologist Dr. Xanthi Mallet has been looking into Kelly's murder conviction for the past 2 years.
This might be Kelly. Hang on a second. I'm not saying that Kelly is innocent. I'm not saying she is guilty. All I'm saying is, if she is going to be in prison, let there be evidence for that, or let her out.
But she left hospital with a 2-day-old baby, and that baby has never been seen since. Isn't it a fair assumption that that child is dead?
We can't say that Tegan is dead because there's no body, so how can you be prosecuted for murder? There's no eyewitness. There's nothing to tie Kelly to committing any crime, bar the fact that we don't know where Tegan is.
After 5 years in prison, Kelly is almost unrecognisable. We catch a glimpse of the lean brunette training in the exercise yard. And the woman jailed as a callous child killer is desperate to get home to care for her teenage daughter.
To receive a phone call from an inmate at Darwinia Correctional Centre.
Hey, Kelly, is that you?
Oh, hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hi.
You sound really, teary today. You've got to talk to your daughter.
You know, we often talk about, Mum, do you think you'll come home? You think it'll be soon? And, yeah, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, and I worry how she's feeling and what she's thinking about, and, sorry.
Do you think she was judged on the secret pregnancies, the adoptions,
Absolutely.
the lies?
Yeah. I think she was judged, it was what I would call trial by media. I think she was painted as a certain type of person, irresponsible, she made poor decisions, she'd lied to people.
But if she didn't kill Tegan, why tell so many lies?
I would say that just because you're a liar doesn't make you a murderess.
Dr. Mallet is one of several experts trying to have Kelly's case reviewed. Kelly has never wavered from her story that Tegan, who'd be turning 20 this year, is with her natural father, the mysterious Andrew.
Andrew Norris Morris exists because she told me about him at that time.
Natalie McCauley's explosive testimony backs up Kelly's story. Natalie works in child protection for the United Nations, but grew up with Kelly on Sydney's northern beaches.
Are you sure about the name, Andrew Norris?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Same name as my brother.
How many times would his name have come up?
Oh, a number of times. Over maybe a 3-month period. It was the summer leading into the new year of 96.
How do you know that?
Because it was the time when all our 21sts were on.
That was 9 months before Tegan was born.
Yes. That's not a coincidence. That's not fanciful. She was telling her mate she was having a fling with someone at the exact time that Tegan would have been conceived.
Natalie's evidence that Andrew Norris exists and may have Tegan was never heard by the jury. She's critical of the police investigation.
They were at my house for 5.5 hours and they came up with a summary of a 1.5 pages. And it was very skewed towards what their view was.
And that was what?
That Tegan had been killed. And had been killed because of Kelly's aspirations to be an Olympian, which is just absurd.
To this day, Natalie feels guilty for not noticing her friend's pregnancies and helping her.
I think of us back then and I wish that I could give that Kelly, the 21-year-old Kelly, a big cuddle to say, you've got a lot of people here and we can help you. But we didn't know.
It's still emotional for you now, isn't it, talking about it?
Yeah. I feel like I let her down.
In what way?
because she needed a friend. And if she had a friend that she could talk to, she wouldn't be where she is now.
Natalie McCauley's evidence is a crucial part of the investigation by lawyer Michelle Reuters, who leads the Innocence Initiative at RMIT. The legal watchdog only takes on rare cases where they believe the conviction can be overturned.
One of the things I found really probably most extraordinary about Keli Lane's case is that people find it easier to believe that a young mother would kill her child than they would believing that a father would accept responsibility for that child and disappear. We don't know if that's where we're going to end up, but that's certainly a real possibility on the facts.
So realistically, what are Keli's chances of having her guilty verdict overturned?
Realistically, the possibilities of having some sort of review, I think would have to be good.
Keli Lane didn't give evidence at her trial in 2010, and it's something she now regrets.
So if you went back to a retrial, would you speak now? Would you talk? Would you tell? Yeah?
Yeah. I want to be heard. And I want to be heard in full.
I love her and I would stand by her no matter what. But I wouldn't be sitting here saying that I think her story is truthful if I didn't think it was truthful.
Keli is fighting to get home to her child. In the meantime, Robert and Sandra are helping to raise their granddaughter, desperate to see Keli free before it's too late for them.
It'd be wonderful. Whether it's next week or in years to come, that's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that some people had a poor view about my daughter, might change their view or might give it some more thought. And we hope that by doing this, it'll support any action being taken at the moment to have the matter looked at again.
Hello, I'm Allison Langdon. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.